So I started when I was 16.
16. He
I was in
started
high
a
school.
company at 16 in high school. A junior.
Yeah.
Junior
yeah,
in
I
high
was
school.
junior.
How did that even work? Well, and for those of you that don't know, I mean, talk about your age. You literally started your staging company when you were how old?
So I started when I was 16.
16. He
I was in
started
high
a
school.
company at 16 in high school. A junior.
Yeah.
Junior
yeah,
in
I
high
was
school.
junior.
So describe what a day in the life of Joseph in school running a
God.
staging business. How did that even work?
It was a shit show because I was in high school. I went to a Catholic high school where you were there until like 7:45 to 3. Even though I had all my credits, I had like 4 free periods my senior year because I was running a business. And I had 2 phones at the time. I would literally step out of class and go to the bathroom or the hallway to pick up a call. I had my team operating while I was in school. And it was very challenging because I would be getting detentions. I was in Saturday school sometimes because I was always on my phone, which you weren't allowed to do. And it came
And
to
you're
the point.
texting, you're
Yeah.
with clients, not like
Exactly.
a
And-
relationship
Exactly,
situation.
yeah. And like my principal was like, do you actually run a business? So then like my dad had to come in and like educate the staff that I was running a full-blown business while I was in school. So it was very, very challenging because it's not normal, I guess, for like
No, it's not normal. I'm just going to tell you.
But like, and that was one of the most challenging things to operate a business while I was in high school, and then leave school, still have to do homework, and then run this business and check up on the operation.
And so give us a little insight in what so were you staging like one house a week while you were in school, or what's the volume look like?
Oh God.
I know, I'm set, that's a setup.
No, you're fine. So when I was in high school, I kind of did the reverse where I had people working for me and I wasn't doing the business. So I had Emily and Rachel, I think their name. Yeah, Emily and Rachel. So I started off with Emily. She would be like the one that would install the furniture and send me pictures while I was in class. And then it came to the point where it got very busy. So then I hired Rachel, her best friend. And then Emily transitioned to the office, and then Rachel transitioned to the field with Emily, kind of like part-time. And they were doing it while I was in school. And then after school, I would go and like look at the property, make sure it like met the standards of what I wanted.
And so what was the volume? What did a typical week look like?
We were doing like 5 to 6 a week, and then it slowly
5
got
to
up
6
to like
stagings a week. He's a junior in high school running the business, getting in trouble while the team is out, facilitating, and then after school going and making sure it was good, probably doing a few D stages at night.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep, with my dad, my brothers.
So
we
you
got
brought the
U-Haul
whole thing
trucks.
like, hey, we got a D stage.
Yeah, so like my dad used to get the U-Haul truck for me and drive it to his office, and then I would drive my car to school and then drive my car to his office,
'Cause
pick
you
up the
couldn't rent a
U-Haul
U-Haul?
truck. No, but I still drove it. Don't tell anyone. But then I'd pick the U-Haul truck up and go and D-stage a property with some of my friends at the time that were like friends with me in high school because my team was at home by that time. So.
And would you say, again, I know the story here, but was one of the downfalls hiring your friends? We've got a session
Yes.
later on today. You hadn't gone through a class of how to hire. You were just like, who is living, who is breathing, who is free? Let's go start this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
what were some of the pitfalls of that?
Turnover was very hard because I was young at the time and everyone that was working for me was older. So, I mean, I'm still young, I guess. I don't know.
How old are you now?
21.
21.
Yeah.
We're 21 and he's already sold his staging business for, can we say 7 figure?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know.
Yeah.
6 figures, I don't know.
Close
Somewhere around there.
Close to, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was not what I expected. But back to your question on like the hiring process, it was very difficult to find talent that would work for someone that was young, that would put them in their place. Because I'm a high D and I am a D. When it comes to operational standpoint, I like it my way, and it's my way or the highway. And Taylor can vouch for that. She's been with the company for 3 years. I think not when I was in high school. She wasn't there right when I was graduating high school. And hiring people were my friends, and then just managing friends were very difficult. Managing young people was very difficult. Just managing people in general is difficult, but when they're friends and you have a connection to them was hard. And then finally I was like, this is not going to grow a business. So then once I graduated, we kind of did a complete wipe the whole company out, and hired start fresh from the beginning. So it was kind of me, Taylor, Sue Ann, that grew the company, and then we got Tasha on to put our systems in place. That came from Guess, and then Tasha got cancer, and then Taylor stepped up into the director role, and then slowly the operation was just running by itself. You find the right people to run the company, and then you as the owner can really step back. And that's kind of what I did for the last 2 years. I'd say year and a half, 2 years, was kind of get the company to the point where it was running by itself. And then that's when I was like, okay, perfect. I can, fulfill my real estate passion, because that's why I got into home staging, is because I wanted to be kind of like a light towards like the realtors and say, hey, I'm a hard worker, I want to join your team, I want to do this, and then the company blew up.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have been, like you shared in the video this morning that we saw, we've been through the journey with you, some of those growth pains. And of course, it was like, if Joseph can start a company, a highly successful company, in school, high school, then what's our excuse? And I think that you really rejuvenated and gave some fresh breath and wind into our industry when they were able to see you become such a success. And so you guys were getting high 6, possibly 7 figures coming in, and you were running volume staging. Yes. You would have multiple teams out, multiple properties out. But what I love is your initial insight, because you couldn't be the stager. It really forced you to say, if I'm going to grow this, it's got to be a team, right?
Yeah. And that's like stepping out from the staging company and going into real estate. You really look at it as a team mindset, like going in and I'm like, oh my God, I have to start from the beginning. I have to call people. I have to do this and that. I'm like, I don't want to do that again. So going from from 0 to 100, hiring immediately, you can really see the benefits from it. I mean, if you're not in the position to hire immediately, obviously don't do that. But for me, that's just, I work better in a team and I can hold people more accountable working in that team environment, where when you hire the right people, they can grow beyond what you can do yourself.